I need a picture of you. Perfect.
Yo, go behind the tree. Go behind the tree right now. If you're racing, go behind the tree. If you're racing, go behind the tree. Go behind the tree. Go next to the tree. Go next to the tree. Yo, if you're racing, go next to the tree. Yo, Chris, go next to the tree, bro. Help me out. Cooper, go next to the tree.
No cheating. Cooper.
No cheating. This is so sweet.
The back setup.
Yeah.
See if it works.
It looks like it's working. Go get in there.
It's actually not that exciting.
All right, cool. You got your name on there. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Sort of.
Sir.
We got 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes. Yo, everybody has their instructions? We have like 5 minutes.
This came with the traditional cuff on the shorts, yeah, and this is ready to go.
Oh my God. I think I started this too early. Which way am I gonna go?
I don't know.
I don't know which way they're gonna go.
Go behind the tree. We got like 3 minutes. Go behind the tree. Go behind the tree. Yo, we're in the middle. Clear. Right now. Right now. We're in the middle.
Well, they gotta figure out who's gonna like which way.
What's up? How are you?
No worries, man.
Hell yeah.
Hey, hi, Mom. Hi.
Hell yeah. We'll see you later, yeah?
I was gonna say, I'm like, man, you don't need to. I'm not racing. Ready?
I don't know. I don't know how to get out of here.
Just watch what everyone else says.
Oh, shit.
Oh, who got the whole shot? Who's out?
Good morning. What's up? Come on, Snake. This is Monster Track 20, if you guys are not familiar. I thought I'd open it up with the first few minutes of this race. Ramen Riders inspired me to start the streams with race footage, so I thought I would start with one of the probably the best race coverages that I've got, which is Monster Track 20. For those of you who want to know, I'm wearing a camera and a gimbal on my helmet, and then I have to get that rear angle, I have another camera on my back, and I'm wearing a chesty with a gimbal on it, and it's in reverse. It's pointing backwards.
Yeah. Give it. I don't have a paper. What? I dropped it.
this was the first time I ever put that camera back there on my back. It was a huge test. I didn't know if it was going to work or not. So that's Tony in the blue jacket there. And what I didn't film before the race started was I saw Tony. I was looking for Tony. There was some internet drama going on with Tony. He was spicing it up, and I didn't know Tony that well yet. I just know that he was like lightly talking shit through Instagram, saying he's gonna win, he's the best, and people were getting very sensitive about it, and he was laughing it off. And what I thought was it was a lot of sarcasm, and I was like, man, I like that guy Tony. He's like psychologically fucking with everybody. It's really good. And I thought he was joking, and then I met Tony, and he was actually joking but also serious. He's like, really, I'm gonna win this, and he was, you know, telling the world he's winning. And that's the guy in the blue jacket. That's Tony. So I saw him in the bodega right before the race started. I was getting like one of my crunk drinks, you know, a little Red Bull, some Gatorade, and I saw Tony there come out, and I looked at him and I was like, hey, now I know what you're wearing. I saw that he was wearing this blue jacket, and I was like, you're my dude, you're winning this race. I'm following you. If I can find you, I'm following you. So as soon as I saw that blue jacket, when I came out of that court right there, I just grabbed his wheel, and that was it. And that's how this race went. And for those of you who don't know, Chaz ended up catching up with me and Tony and riding with us. And Chaz ended up winning. Tony would have won first place, but he got pulled over by the police on the Williamsburg Bridge. He somehow talked the police out of giving him a ticket, and it slowed him down by about a half hour, and he still took like 6th, 7th, or 8th place. I forget what place it was. So there's a little backstory for you. I'm gonna let this play out until we get out of Midtown, because there's some really crazy stuff Tony does, and then we'll kick it on over to the me staring at you guys and rambling on for a little bit. So if I see anything in the middle of this, I'll let you know. This was by far one of the sketchiest. Not sketchy in considering like me following somebody. Like I was very confident falling behind Tony, but sketchy racing conditions. As you can see, there was snow, water everywhere. It was like maybe just above freezing. There's that rear camera there, just to see who's behind us. He's on my wheel. So after Tony did all this, you know, he started talking with Crusher more, and then the three of us all went to on that Russia trip after all of this. This is a fixed gear, no brakes race only. I am just a participant. I'm not racing. I'm on a single speed. I still show up and register and pay the money, but I'm not racing. Every time I explain myself to people, they're always like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm registering because I want to support the race, but I'm not racing. I'm not even, like, you don't even have to give me a number really. But so this is when the group starts to catch up to us. You'll see we all took different routes, and you'll see Lucas Burnell, you'll see Chris, you'll see Chaz, Pancho, you'll see a bunch of people, Crusher, they'll all catch up, and you'll see Lucas is filming. There's Nico and Chaz to the left. This is all First Ave. This is stuff I rode with the 360 Rilo footage recently. Same street. I pull a sketchy move here. I tap this lady's purse. Did not see her. I did not hit her, I hit her purse, and that's why I wrote that little thing. I was in the wrong, totally was. That could have been really bad. So there's Chris in front, Nico, Tony. These intersections are pretty easy to go through reds on. They're all one ways for the most part. There's a couple that aren't. There's Chaz popping in there. Poncho. So you're looking at, like, you know, the top 10 Monster Track right here, and they're in the front already. So that's to give you guys an idea if you ever want to do Monster Track. Like, pretty much starts from the front. There's Jason Colon back there on the white bike to the left. That's Traffic Warriors. He's also, I think he's just filming. There's Lucas Brunel. And then we're going left on 42nd here. And this is where the race gets broken up pretty bad. Everyone goes their own routes here. And this is when I'm like, nah, these fools ain't dropping me. So I turn it up a bit, drop. I gotta catch the front. I gotta catch my man Tony. I didn't want to get blocked in by anybody, and right now I'm like staying far to the right so I get out of the way of the racers and kind of get like a 3/4 angle down the street. This bus is blocking my 3/4. So Tony has a paper in his hand. He's looking for the first checkpoint, basically. Right there. Stop that car. You can hear their cleats. Tony doesn't get off a bike. Look at that, like a pro. So that's where we make the first break, right there. Because of that one checkpoint, we broke off of all those people, and that's what happened. There's only so many people at each checkpoint, so you got to be the first one there so you can get signed and get out. If you're like 2 or 3 layers of people back, that's gonna cost you. So second checkpoint, boom, like that, half a block over. Super easy. How casual Tony is. These guys are yelling checkpoint. These guys are being very casual about it. The amount of like energy that these people are going through right now for the race is it might seem like they're being an asshole or a dick, but it's like that race aggressiveness. I'm not trying to be a dick. So they went to most of the group went to another checkpoint. Tony's going to a separate one. This footage is from 2 Monster Tracks ago. So right now it's me and Tony alone. I think there was a straggler trying to follow Tony or follow me. But like I said, I'm committed. Like I told you, when I saw Tony, I said, "You're my guy. I'm following you." You can hear the wind that day. Like, I have the same microphone I normally have. The wind that day was so bad. Very, very cold, breezy winds. Whatever Tony does, I'm on it to follow him, to see him through the race. I'm keeping my distance a little bit here for a few reasons. The first reason is the wheel, his rear wheel, because the ground is wet, it kicks up water, and I don't want to get water on my lens. Second reason is it's wet and we're going through a bunch of cars. So I've talked about distancing before when you're following somebody, and it feels nice to be close to somebody. I think it feels really engaging, like kind of like the Cooper Ray hotline. But when you have a wide shot like this, you can really see the scene and see what's going on. So happy with it. Look at him. He's the only one at that checkpoint. There's Chaz. So Tony went a complete different way on everybody. Tony had the better routing right there, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the other group did, but he went a different way, and it seems like it worked. Now there is a huge situation that happened with, that was a nice little squeeze between people. With 666 Fifth Avenue, everyone missed that checkpoint. Tony and Chaz missed that checkpoint. So many people missed the checkpoint that the people who, when they came in, they thought they got first and second or whatever, third, they ended up all being disqualified because they missed the checkpoint. So here's Chaz, and this is where Tony does a crazy move. This thing's on Instagram, blown up. Yo! He did like a half pedal.
Shit!
Yeah, you can hear my energy. I'm like, what the fuck?
God. See that little pop? God damn that. Woo! Thank God I didn't go.
Yeah, I wouldn't have went. He gave himself a half pedal and like a bar turn to fit between those cars in that lane. It was fucked. There's no...
Bob.
I mean, Tony didn't want to stop, but as you can see, there wasn't a huge reason. Sometimes you make these decisions, these sketchy moments and decisions to do shit, and you know, to win, and sometimes they're worth it. And like that last move was sketchy, and it looks like it wasn't really worth it, right? Because we caught right up to him pretty easy. But it's up to the rider to make those choices. I'm not saying it was the wrong choice at all. So from here on out, I think there's like 1 or 2 more checkpoints, and then we do a huge long haul all the way up to like 115th. There, so right now, and there's the long spot where we're just riding straight for a while. So I might trim it there, but these guys here now they're kind of talking. They're talking about what little move he did, and they're also talking about like strategizing for the rest of the race. Basically, Tony knows and Chaz knows. Woo! Chaz knows that Tony's gonna like help him win the race into second place, and what a normal out of town like person will do for someone like who lives in New York and shows him where everything is you know, Chaz will let Tony take first, you know. He won't like try to do any shady shit at the end. But because Tony got the ticket, and got stopped by the police, Chaz made it through the very end of the race. So Tony, Chaz ended up taking first, and Tony got got out of being arrested. He still got a ticket, but he showed up to the end of the race with the police ticket in his hand. It was pretty tight. So right there, Chaz went the other way. Tony went this way, which was interesting because they're kind of working together, and you can see that the other group is kind of catching and bobbing and weaving. I don't know exactly what's up, where they're coming from, but I'm being very cautious on this. This is Columbus Circle. I've started and stopped rides here. Like, solo isolation rides and all that. But there's a checkpoint, and I'm careful around this corner because you gotta. If you look on the ground, there's like metal. Metal little road slabs and stuff, and they are dangerously slippery when it's wet. So you don't want to lean your bike at all, and that stuff you don't want to slow down, you don't want to stop, you just want to get off of it. So there's a spot later in the video where I almost crashed on one of them, and that's why I think this is the sketchiest race I've ever filmed. A lot of these guys, see, Chaz just signaled to him to take his wheel so Chaz can pull him. I'm doing a little teamwork right here. Just to help Tony, since Tony was leading the way the whole time. This is kind of what happens. They don't necessarily have this stuff planned out before the race happens, but it's just what happens when you once the race starts and you find yourself kind of grouped up with different people. You're not going to win it alone. You're going to need some assistance, and this is where it comes in handy. It's no different than a road race or a track race. Drafting is crucial. So you don't want to be alone, stuck out here when there's a nasty headwind. You want to save your energy. See those little plates? Sketchy. So this is Central Park West. That's the street. Since this video, you can see that there's a bike lane on the right side. It is now completely, there's no more cars allowed to park on this side of the street. And it's a full, solid, protected green lane. Tony got the sketch here, but I don't think he can hold on. Oh, he held on. Oh, SUV saw him sketching. He got a nice little blast from the sketch. I should be writing down these little sketchy moments with Tony, because I never made like an Instagram short edit out of this video, and those would be good little spots. I'm trying to think whether I should just let this play out or not. I'm not gonna have much to say right here for this stuff. This is the long stretch all the way to 115th, so. Let's see, maybe I can do this. Oh, there we go. Just let it load for a second. If you want to see this whole video, I can drop it in the chat. So here we are on 100. We're at the Apollo here. Andrew, it's actually a little brighter outside than it looks. I have my GoPro settings so it doesn't get all super bright. That's an exposure thing on the camera. It's a little bit brighter. Oh yeah, it's 125th, sorry. You're right, Francisco. I made that mistake the other day. I kept calling it 115th. So there's Chaz there. They're talking about 666 right now. Listen to him. They missed the checkpoint.
We can still do. What the fuck is the crossviews?
So what they're talking about is they missed 666, and what they found out later is so did everyone else. So did the contenders in the front as well. So they were gonna take the West Side Highway and not the bike path. They were gonna take the highway with the cars, and it would have been the fastest way to lower Manhattan. But now, because there's like very little stoplights, it's a straight fucking shot, and the potential to skitch there is really high. And you know, the traffic's moving at between 35 and 50 miles an hour. So now they got to go back, and we're gonna have to ride pretty much the same path we took on the way up, except for I think we take 5th Ave instead of Central Park West. And Central Park West is on the west side of the Central Park, obviously, and 5th Ave is on the east side of Central Park going south. So I'm gonna skip ahead right here just to shorten this commentary up a little bit. Let me find. We gotta run down this whole thing. I think there's some sketchy moments in here, but it's pretty much a straight shot, so it's really, really long here. I'll go to here. Let's see. Sorry about the load times on this. I don't have this on the computer hard drive. This is streaming straight from YouTube. Oh, it's really being bad. All right, here we go. Perfect. Right there. This is the bottom of the park. That's 57th. We just crossed. We're on 5th Avenue. We're going south. We're going back to 666 5th Ave. And that's what we're looking for. This checkpoint has old school voodooism to it. There were issues with this checkpoint a long time ago as well. There's stories about this. There's all kinds of things that happened with this checkpoint. There's a whole podcast about this. If you want to find out about Monster Track, follow Monster Track NYC on Instagram. So they're looking for the checkpoint. They don't even know it's a creepy checkpoint. It's not even on 5th. It's down the street. It's like a subway exit. It's actually inside of a subway exit. I guarantee you, Tony and Chaz will never forget what 666 5th is now. It's down to the left over here. And the only way you know it is that it's a drop spot for messengers. It's a weird entrance. Right there.
Okay.
You hear Chaz there apologizing for the construction workers. Look at this pile of snow we had to go through. It's funny. So you'll notice the color is a little different on these cameras. That's because the front camera is a GoPro 7, the back camera is a GoPro 6, and the color has changed. Let's see. So I think they're talking about Lower Manhattan checkpoints now. So I don't have a manifest. So I don't know where they're going at all. Chaz is being very friendly. He's yelling, saying move, but then also saying thank you. Crazy, crazy, crazy. As you can see, it's getting dark. This is also 46 minutes into the GoPro's record time. And those of you who know, when you shoot 4K, the GoPro usually only lasts between 45 minutes and an hour. Somehow I squeezed an hour and 17 minutes out of the GoPro. I don't know how. That's how long it took from the start of the race to get all the checkpoints on the first manifest. So once it gets too dark, I tend to not like to film just because the image doesn't look very good. And you'll see at the end of the video, they get their second manifest and I let them roll away, and then that's it for me. This race had 3 manifests. So the first one has a lot, the second one has a little less, and then the last one is usually just 1 or 2 or 3. It's really, really short. Yo, yo, yo. You heard Chaz. Chaz was saying, watch out for that green guy. Oh, he turned too. Nice. Talking about the Jeep. Some random pedestrian about to walk out. Chaz is being super talkative and friendly to everyone in the middle of the street right now. You can see how
Hop over.
you can see how Tony is and Chaz, when they approach these lights, they go in them at angles. You know what I mean? If it's red, you don't go straight. You come in at an angle. It gives yourself options to make a left, a right, slow without slowing your speed too much. You just scuff your speed a bit without changing directions too crazy. It really helps when you're going through intersections. Gives you a couple seconds to look. It also gives you a better perspective to look down the road. At this time, the weather has probably gotten 5 to 10 degrees colder since the sun has went down. It's about to set. This race took place in I believe it was beginning of March, so the sun was still very low. Sets really early, and not a lot of sunlight in the air. Man, this cold brew got me cracked out. You can see the rotation, the tilt, or it's not tilt, the yaw, I guess. I forget what it's called. The horizon line is off on the gimbal, and that could have been from many things, but it started straight. Cold weather affects electronics, so. You can also see there's a little bit of dried up water on my lens on the top right side. It's kind of fogged up, a little dirty. This time of year, New York throws a ton of salt on the ground too. So even when the roads are wet right now, but they're like, it's like a salty, wet, gross shit. Skirt. So Chaz and Tony had a little chat about where they needed to be. Chaz said no. Tony corrected him and said no, this is where we need to go. So they're making the move to this checkpoint down here. There's Caro right there with the pink hat. We did a hotline with her. You can hear her. Tony, we love you. We got a little boost of stoke from the homies.
Go!
Skirt. So they're yelling at that dude that was rolling away from the checkpoint, kind of like, get out of the way, we're racing, please. Since you're so chill and casual, we need to get by. I'm trying to win this race. If you wouldn't mind moving your ass out of our way. Thank you. So I think there's an issue here for this checkpoint too. I don't think the salt does anything for traction on the ground. So this is the West Side Highway here, except for we're on the wrong side. And this is the strip that they originally were going to take.
Hey, we ended up taking the highway anyway, huh?
See? Ended up taking the highway anyways. That's what they were going to do if they didn't miss 666. They would have taken the highway right down to that last checkpoint where they just got it signed. They had this planning these things out a couple checkpoints in advance to know where to go helps. So knowing the city is really the only way to win this race. Or you do what other out-of-town people do and you follow somebody. Chaz actually knows New York way better than any out-of-town person because he does come a lot and he works. I think he's done 10 monster trucks. See, these checkpoint workers are on it.
Let's go, you guys! Let's go! Go, go!
That was Bicycle Film Festival right there, working at checkpoint.
Late's down left side.
Yes.
Where the fuck is old Sid? Okay, we gotta do this. I think it's too late to get you the next one. You will come in late.
On Broadway. I know exactly how to get there.
Okay, Lake Street's down here, but how far down Broadway? Take a right.
Past Peters.
Okay, cool.
In the hole.
So they're talking about checkpoints that are across Canal, basically, in Lower Manhattan. And you might ask yourself, where's Cooper Ray in all this mess? Cooper knows Lower Manhattan. It's kind of like a maze of one-ways and weird diagonals. He's very familiar with it, probably more familiar than these guys for sure. And his move is to always do Lower Manhattan first. So if you watch the Monster Track 19 from the year before this, I follow Cooper and Safa, and they attack Lower Manhattan right away. And that's exactly what he did in this video. If you go back to the beginning when everyone picked up the manifest, you can see Cooper when we pull out of the court. I go left, you can see Cooper take a right. And he goes left is going north, right is going south, and you see Cooper, he went south. So Cooper ended up getting second place in this race after all the disqualifications. I believe he got second. So this is the meat packing district. That's the High Line above. You can see the green thing on the right. It's like a little parkway up there. This street is really easy to flow through as well, as you can see. Safa didn't race this year, but in 2019 he won Monster Truck. Or, I'm sorry, I take that back. Monster Truck 19, he won it. Nice reflective vest. I could use one of those when I'm filming. Although I have lights on my bike, little blinky lights. So you can see the Freedom Tower up there, way in the distance. I love the sound the tires make on the wet ground. I hate the sound the wind makes. There's a couple extra sketchy moments here on the end. I'm gonna see if I can skip through a little bit and find where we need to be. We had to climb over a bridge, which I think is really funny. Yeah. We'll go to right here. We navigated the wrong way. So we're looking for... Yeah, see, we're taking the stairs because there's no way to get over there. If you did it the correct way, we would have been on the other side of... This is Canal, I think. I'm not sure which street this is. Basically, it dead ends over here, and this is a tricky checkpoint. It's was definitely an intentional checkpoint. I think it's funny that we had to climb this bridge to get it. It's awesome. You can see how fucked my lens is. There's water all over it. Yo, that was Mario Sepulveda. Sepulveda, sorry. You can see all the homies help with checkpoints and help film this race. So, or I'm sorry, help organize and run the race. They're running the checkpoints, so these things wouldn't be possible without having people help and stand over there and signed off the manifest for people.
parallel to Liberty?
So they're trying to figure out where they need to go. Right now we're salmoning up, going against a one-way.
Oh boy.
You can see how jacked the road is. We're going up a one-way, past right by an NYPD. No fucks given.
Right? Sound good.
We'll squeeze in here. You can see the courthouse straight ahead. We're crossing Church right there. We're going to take a right on Broadway here. You guys have seen this part of Broadway many times. This is where the video gets spicy, a little spicy again. I'm gonna skip ahead, try to find where Tony does some wild boy shit. Yeah, it's right around here. We're gonna skip ahead a little bit. Alright, so we're headed back to get the second manifest, I believe. Tony just starts riding with no hands. He hit that car, slid off of it, stayed on his bike. That was insane. So that wasn't intentional, obviously.
Holy shit. The man bounces back.
But
He bounces back. See, that's why you're my favorite. You're my favorite.
see, that's what I was talking about. My favorite. That was what I was telling him when I saw him at the bodega. I was like, "You're gonna win. You're my favorite. You're gonna win this race."
Ah, fuck.
Woo! We just crossed under the Brooklyn Bridge. And you can see it's getting really dark now. At this point, I knew my batteries were gonna die any minute. I was hoping. I was like, please, can we get to the final checkpoint on this manifest so I can have the full coverage to give to everybody? This is the little cut right
To the
here.
right. To the right. Hey.
I even knew this little cut. This is the cut we took in the previous year's Monster Track, but in reverse. It's the fast way to get on the West Broadway. That car almost took out Tony. I love this street because you can see the Manhattan Bridge above. There's a train going across it right now. It's really cool. It's just such a, I don't know, New York feeling street. The bridge and the train. It's awesome. The sound. all the lanterns. This is part of the Chinatown. At this point, I'm pretty sure my rear-facing camera already died. Probably like 10 or 15 minutes ago. Again, I got super lucky with the battery life. I was happy that I didn't hear the camera beep, saying that it was dead, but I was a little confused at the same time. It's like maybe it beeped and I didn't hear it. I don't know. This is pretty much the home stretch. They are riding back basically to where the race started. Right in the very beginning where we started the video. We're crossing Houston here. Easy peasy. If you guys have any comments or questions about this or anything, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'll answer them directly after this video is over. I hate riding on the streets so much. I'm not a fan of it. Drift King, it's. I'll answer it after the video's over. The video's almost over. Chaz is still being friendly, talking to people as he passes. He's always got that positive kind of attitude, which is awesome to be around.
Fucking Uber.
I went around this way. I saw too many people coming. So that was Chaz yelling because they beat them to this checkpoint, but they didn't know that they missed that 666. So. So here's the end. See, Crusher made it to the checkpoint first.
Oh no, number three.
Go!
And that's where I stopped. I knew my surprised.
So we bring to a close the story of rigid control through the...
Surprised that my battery lasted that long. Hello, here's my face. It's been a while. Yeah, so that was Monster Track 20. It was by far the most in-depth and full of a Monster Track race that I've got coverage of. I have been pretty good about, I don't know if it's luck or whatever it is, but I've been pretty good about following the people who win Monster Track for the last 3 years. So the first year I followed Cooper and Safa. Safa ended up winning. This year, this was Monster Track from 2019, which is Monster Track 20. A little confusing, but Monster Track 20, I followed Tony and Chaz. Chaz won, and then this year, I followed Angela, and I wanted to follow the women's side of the race, and she ended up taking first. So I'm getting lucky, or I don't know. I'm picking winners, or maybe it's good luck for me to follow you. I don't know what it is, but probably might not film any more Monster Tracks. So first time saying that publicly to everybody. It was a good. It was nice and great while it lasted, but probably not going to do them forever. I gotta let someone else do them, or maybe maybe race them. I don't know. So I'm gonna answer some questions, and then we're gonna get out of here. This is what my cold brew looks like. It's actually pretty good. I tried a little bit last night, and it tasted really bitter, and then I filtered it one more time, and it really tastes good now. I do it a really cheap way. I just put the coffee grounds with the water, without a bag, and then I just pour it through a filter afterwards. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go to some questions here. So Drift King is asking, how do they validate checkpoint signatures to make sure no one cheated? Like I said in the beginning of the video, that first 15 minutes, you saw pretty much top 10, top 15. Everyone was in the front already. You remember when I cut to the rear camera and you saw Lucas Brunel and you saw Chris and Jason, all those guys? All those people were in top 15. They ended up, taking places for the most part. And if you're not there in that, it's pretty easy to know if you cheated on the signature. Also, every checkpoint, I don't know if it's coordinated or not, but they all have different pens and stuff. So if you look at it, the types of pens and signatures should look the same for similar to all the things. I know there's a couple people working checkpoints on some of them. So I don't know. It would be easy to know. I feel like it would be. But the title screen art for this vid is dope. Who did that? That is the flyer that they made. And what I did was it was a vertical for Instagram, and I just took it and then I made it, added some extra to it and made it a little wider to fit a 16:9. Luke Cameron wants to know how many miles Monster Track is. Let's look that up. I'll pull up my Strava from. This is one of the reasons why I actually like Strava, is for this type of stuff. I can go back and look at my own stuff and be like, yeah, how long was that? And because I recorded it, I can look back at it, which is great. I wonder if I can search. Am I allowed to search in here? Monster Track. Monster Track. Let me see. Activities. There we go. Nope. Alright. I'll find it. Give me a quick sec. It's going to be a long dig down all of my... ...2020... Yeah, it's going to be a year back. Damn, it might be a while. Strava should have a search feature where you can search your segments. If anyone from Strava is listening, you guys want to see what I'm doing? Here we go. There we go. This is Strava going back. Right now, I'm in 2019 July. I was in Italy. And there. Let's see. Bear. Here we go. Bear Mountain on a track bike. That was a good ride. 49.14. California, Santa Cruz stuff. June, okay, almost there. Sorry. Lots of mountain bike riding. Oh, we're getting close. That was 3 Blind Mice. Mark it on. Here we go. This is it. Filming Monster Truck. So the first manifest was 33 miles. So this was that race. And we got some stuff, some leaderboard stuff, it looks like. But you can see exactly what we did. This is also a good way to check if people did the race properly as well. I mean, you can do this in any order, but there have been other races like 3 Blind Mice that I did where you have to do it in order, and there were some mischievous things happening with that race. So you can see we went up the park all the way up to 125th and then right back down the park. That's the stuff that we skipped out of that video there. So all right, what's next? Urban City Cowboy, what sort of hat was the dude wearing in your IG post yesterday? Oh, that has nothing to do with this, man. Let's see if I can pull that up. You are talking about this guy here. That is, hey, bruh. You're talking about this hat. That's an Orthodox, like it's a Hasidic Jewish, and he is wearing. I don't want to mess it up. I don't know too much about it, but I think it's a beaver. It's some kind of like animal hair hat, and they're really expensive. That's his like formal wears for holiday. Usually they wear them on Saturdays and Sundays, but it's a holiday right now, so they were all out yesterday, and I was having lunch, and he was just posing with his baby. So this is oh, you're good. Hello. This was my day yesterday. So hopefully that answers your question. If you want to know more, I've been told to watch Unorthodox on Netflix. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm probably gonna check it out. The guy in, oh shit, I went too far down. Polly Skirt, the guy in blue jacket, that's Tony, has 9 lives. Yeah, you tuned in a little late. He had a couple close calls. We watched it. It was in that video. So, Ramen Riders, what up? Thank you for being here with us. Eric's asking if I've ever heard of Reading Radsport, a small crit race in Reading, PA. I haven't heard of it, and yeah, I would totally attend. I'm not much of a fan myself of crit racing, but I'm down to check out local stuff for sure. Luke, thank you for watching. He's saying thanks for the interview with Corona Couriers. trying to get more people in here to do some interviews, but they keep falling through the cracks. So we'll see. Hopefully we get something lined up again. But I enjoyed that as well. Ed B is asking me about my cold brew. I left it in for 18 hours only. Do you just film or do you also participate in Alley Cat racing? Asked Cameron. For Monster Track, I just film. I have a race up called Three Blind Mice that I raced. It is an all bike race, so I was on my single speed and I also filmed that. We might do a morning routine with that video tomorrow. Do I ever attend World, the CMWC or the NACCs? That's the NACs, and those are courier races for nationals and worlds. I don't. I've never been a bike messenger, so I just let the. Not that it's not my scene. I just feel like since I wasn't in the scene, then maybe I shouldn't, document it. Lucas does those, so that's cool. And there's other people who are or who have been couriers who know how to document that stuff, so I leave that stuff to them. Yeah, we did 33 miles. Ed B. Sims asking about the mileage and the time. It's a little less than 33 because I filmed going all the way back to Brooklyn too. I would say that's the part of the race we did was only, I would say it's like maybe 12 miles less. So like 31. So we did 21 miles in about an hour during Monster Track. I would think somewhere around there, maybe probably between 17 and 21 miles, because we were moving the whole time. What's the craziest thing you've seen during a race? Tony get through that little like half pedal like bar turn between the cars. That was pretty cool. Philip, do you have a hotline with Tony? That right there was a hotline with Tony. Luke is about to be working with Corona Couriers. That's awesome, Luke. Brian Novello, tell us the truth. How did you come up with the hotline, the name hotline? I was trying to brainstorm it at Deluxe Cycles, and Amir was there, and Amir said it first, and I give all credit to Amir. But yeah, it's pretty tight. I like when that stuff happens. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you liked the video recap and my blabbing on about it. We'll do another one soon, probably on Three Blind Mice. If you want to see Three Blind Mice before that, just look up Three Blind Mice race on my feed. But we'll probably do one of those soon. And until the next video, be safe, be well, and I'll see you soon.